All right. Hello, everyone. First, I want to say thank you and for joining us this evening. Welcome on behalf of the Susquehannock High School Counseling Department, as well as our administrative staff represented by Mr. James Sterner. We just want to thank you for joining us this evening as we talk about junior and senior year opportunities that are available to our students to kind of help further them in their post-secondary development while they're members of our Warrior Nation. Tonight, we will discuss internships, pre-apprenticeship programs through our partnership with YCAL, the Hack Academy options presented by our partnership with Hack, and dual enrollment opportunities through our partnership with 3 schools in the local area. As I said, my name is Matthew Shervington. I'm one of the school counselors here at Susquehannock High School, and I will allow my colleagues to introduce themselves before we get started.
Hi, I'm Courtney Coons. I am the counselor for students with the last names S through Z.
Hello, I'm Erin O'Connor Redmond, and I'm the high school counselor for students with the last name E through K.
And I'm James Turner. I'm assistant principal for students currently in grades 9 and 11. And I'm very excited that you're joining us for a program that for me is the reason that we do what we do in our high school. And that's to prepare students for their life after high school and share some really awesome opportunities with you this evening.
So before we move forward, if you'll notice in the bottom left-hand corner, there is a small link there. That link will take you to the question form that was submitted alongside that email advertising this event. That link will be presented at the end of our presentation as well, but feel free to input that link if you have any questions. We will be monitoring the question form throughout the presentation, as well as answering questions at the end of the presentation that are presented through that form. All right, so as I said, we're going to be talking about some of our different post-secondary options that are available to our students while they're in attendance here with us at Susquehannock High School. Some of the benefits of these programs are that they give students a head start on their career paths of interest, and they also make students more marketable in their career field. Whether this be going directly into the workforce or going on to post-secondary education at a 2-year school, a 4-year school, or a trade or technical school, one thing that we're finding is that schools are very interested in students with real-world experience and practical experience in what they're looking to do, and these opportunities give students very much the opportunity to do that. Some of these opportunities also allow students the chance to earn college credits towards a future degree, while also earning high school credits towards graduation, primarily in our dual enrollment and Hack Academy options, and our pre-apprenticeship options offers some capacity of that as well. Some programs also present the opportunity for students to earn a certification in the field. This is a wonderful chance for students to come out of high school with the ability to walk directly into their preferred field with a job comparable to other adults in the field as opposed to a traditional high school graduate or recent high school graduate. And in some capacities, these programs will come at no cost to families, although families and or the student will be responsible for transportation.
So the first of these opportunities that we'll take a look at this evening is student internships. So I'll summarize some of the heavy words in this slide with from the definition of internships from the U.S. Department of Labor. Internships provide our students an opportunity to participate and observe work, and it's firsthand. It's happening in the workplace. Learning objectives will guide their experiences in an internship in a workplace. And the goal of it is to enhance the transfer of employment skills into the workforce, as well as to explore a field of interest for that student. So, Mr. Shervington, if we can advance to the next one. Continuing to build on that, an internship really is intended to link and provide a capstone to the learning that the student does in the academic classes leading up to it. Components of our internships at Susquehannock include an employer host at a workplace, and we do have some internships in the high school, but we also really work heavily with the community. So there's an employer host There's a school mentor, which is a staff member in a field related to the career field that the student's exploring. There's a flexible structure that we create, and that's kind of unique from neighboring school districts. We really do want students to be able to explore what it is that they're interested in, not a specific number that, not a specific career field that is convenient for us to connect with, but whatever it is that they are interested in. And within that flexible structure, there are guiding assignments that help to structure that experience and create some mileposts for students as they learn along that. On the next slide, we'll see maybe some helpful information for whether or not an internship seems like a good fit. Students that would most benefit from internships have an idea of the career pathway, or at least a clouded field that they might want to pursue. They likely are also currently taking or will be taking coursework relevant to that pathway to have some background going into their internship. They may or they may not have some existing partnerships or connections into the industry. And I'll talk in a moment. That's really helpful if they do have some of those. They have some space in their schedule and they really want to do the internship. It shouldn't be something that we're forcing them to do. It really should be something that they're going to want to do because the independence of the work that they're going to do is really important. It doesn't come with that poking and prodding of a teacher. It is something that they really have to tackle on their own. They also should be a student who's in good standing, meaning that they have passing grades, they're on track to graduate, they have space in their schedule, and their graduation project is rolling along. So again, there's going to be a great deal of independence in what they do. There's some flexibility and some opportunity for them to share time out of the school day. So it's very critical that they're in good shape to graduate before we're considering adding this to their schedule and their workload. It's also really important that they have strong interpersonal skills because both the securing of the internship and being able to communicate with the employer host that they're working with throughout the internship is really important. And it's also important, like Mr. Shervington alluded to earlier, that they have transportation or access to on or off-campus internship sites, depending on what that schedule looks like. And I'll give you a couple quick last-minute pointers. Our best internships from the past are internships that were student-motivated and student-driven. So a student found an employer that really fit or kind of relates to what they want, and they wanted to really pursue that. Best internships are related to the career field of interest. They don't have to be exactly the career that a student wants to pursue, but it's something in that career field that can give them some exposure and build their network. The best internships that we've had with students are also a good fit. Much like a good job or a good career down the road, it's got to be something that's going to fit the person that they're working with, the work that they're doing, and we really try to make sure that that's a good mesh before we roll the internship. So if after hearing this, you're interested in pursuing an internship, we absolutely want to get that ball rolling. There's quite a bit of paperwork that we need to do because it is like a field trip that a student's experiencing throughout the year. I would ask if you're interested that you communicate with, reach out to your school counselor as well as me, and we'll begin to work through some of that paperwork and give you some more details on internship opportunities. Thanks.
So, as we said before, another option that we will talk about are our partnership with YCAL, the York County Alliance for Learning, with their pre-apprenticeship programs. YCAL is an excellent organization stationed within York County that works with all 14 of the high schools throughout the county to establish practical experiences for students within varying career fields. Again, for them to kind of have that hands-on learning experience outside of the classroom to see if that is something that the student truly wants to pursue with their post-secondary plans. In York County, we are very fortunate that over the past 3 years, YCAL has established 3 pre-apprenticeship programs that are rising juniors and rising seniors, so current 10th and 11th grade students may be eligible for. The first one that was established was the Kinsley program, and that is in construction. That is comprised of 10 sessions where students will do 2 OSHA trainings and then 7 instructional lessons and a closing program. These lessons traditionally have been held on a weekday, 7 a.m. to 3:30 p.m. And then the closing program, which is very celebratory in nature, typically held from 6 to 8 p.m. With regard to this program, a student will receive an additional half credit as part of their school year. So a student in taking a full course load of 7 credits as a junior, or for Kinsley, you'd have to be a senior, taking a full slate of credits of 6 or 7 classes would earn an additional half credit towards graduation by enrolling in this program. By completing the Kinsley program, not only does one finish with an OSHA certification, but not that it's necessarily guaranteed, but you are kind of networking and formulating those connections. And so more often than not, students who finish the pre-apprenticeship program with Kinsley are aligned to receive an interview for the apprenticeship program from Kinsley following graduation from high school. The next program is the electricians program, pre-apprenticeship provided by York Electricians. This program is offered to 11th and 12th graders. So if you are a sophomore or a junior currently, you can register for this program. This program has 7 sessions where they go over 4 or 5 different aspects. They go over electrical and construction safety, component installation, Ohm's law, conduit building, and employability skills. Much like Kinsley, this program is from 7 a.m. to 3:20 p.m. So 7 sessions, 7 days throughout the school year, you would have an excused absence to not be at Susquehanna High School that day because you are working on your pre-apprenticeship program. Just like Kinsley, this is a half credit option for the given year you take it. So you actually have the opportunity to earn an entire additional credit by taking this in 11th and 12th grade. Again, this is a pathway to a registered apprenticeship program. So we talk about networking, putting a face to a name. Completion of this program as a pre-apprenticeship gives you an excellent opportunity to do the York Electricians apprenticeship program. And then finally, we have the York Manufacturers Association that handles the manufacturing pre-apprenticeship. This one is a few more sessions. There are 16 sessions total, 8 in your first year, 8 in your second year, which include 2 OSHA trainings, quality and measurement, manufacturing designs and processing, computer design, and intro to lean manufacturing. Much like the other 2 options, these sessions are held in given days throughout the school year where you would attend from 8 a.m. to 3:30 p.m. Just like with Kinsley, you would earn your OSHA certification upon completion of the program. And just like with Kinsley and York Electricians, you're positioning yourself for the opportunity to attend the manufacturer's apprenticeship program following graduation. I know at first glance, positioning yourself for the apprenticeship program after graduation may not sound that difficult, but as an 18-year-old individual coming right out of high school, you are being able to vie for a position that many adults who are looking for employment and training are looking for. But you're also kind of getting a leg up on them by having, again, that networking of having gone through the beginning of this program with the people who would continue on with you for your apprenticeship program. As with any of these options here, you would need to speak with your school counselor in order to express interest and arrange this option. And if you have questions, you can touch base with your school counselor, but the contact information for the individuals who are our correspondents for these programs are listed there. Deb Warbaugh for Kinsley Construction, Scott Brenneman for York Electricians, and Brian Paterniti for York Manufacturers Association.
All right, so the next program I'm going to talk about is our Hack Academy. So a partnership with Harrisburg Area Community College. They have 3 programs that our students have the opportunity to take advantage of. The first is the Automotive Technology program. And all of the information that is listed here is for this current school year and current academic year. We'll have updated information hopefully in the next couple months as we move to the next year. But just to give an idea of kind of what students would be participating in. The Automotive Technology program is Monday through Friday from 12 to 3:30. It takes place all year from September through May. So students would go to this program every single weekday for 3.5 hours throughout the whole year, complete 640 hours. And the outcome of this program is that they would earn their safety inspection and emission certification. They also would earn 3 college credits towards the automotive associate's degree at HAC. So a really great opportunity. All of these programs are available to our seniors, and we would work with those students to make sure that they are able to fit it into their schedule. So that's something to kind of keep in mind, and important that we would get their other courses in the morning so that way they could leave for these programs. The second program is the welding technology program, very similarly to the automotive tech program. It's Monday through Friday from 12 to 3:30 p.m. This one's a little different in the sense that there are 2 different sessions. So students could participate in the fall or spring, and we've actually had students continue on starting with the fall and moving to a second level in the spring because they enjoyed it so much. But students would participate for 238 hours during those months. And the outcome of this program is students would receive 9 credits towards the welding certificate program. So very similar to what Mr. Shervington was talking about with the YCAL pre-apprenticeship programs, being able to leave high school with not just this great experience, but with credits and certifications towards the field that they're interested in. Finally, the nurse aid program is Monday through Friday from 12:30 to 4:15, and there's 1 Saturday of clinicals as well. So then they have different clinical days, combination of half and full days, completing 120 hours. This current school year, there were 3 different sessions. There was a fall, a winter, and then a spring session. And the outcomes of these programs is that the students leave with the nurse aid program completion certificate, and they're eligible for a Commonwealth of Pennsylvania nurse aid registry. So they are able to leave high school with that certificate, with the ability to be registered and start in that field right away. So these are the 3 opportunities through HAC Academy. There is an application process that will take place later on in the spring and throughout the summer. So if you're interested, just like any of the other programs, please reach out to your school counselor. And once we have all that information for the next academic year, we'll make sure to share that with you.
Dual enrollment is an interesting opportunity for our juniors and seniors to earn both college credits and meet their high school requirements. We partner with 3 local colleges: Harrisburg Area Community College, Penn State York, and York College of Pennsylvania. In this role, students would opt to take some of their classes through one of those colleges. And the way that they take them can vary by school. So each college does offer a reduced tuition rate for dual enrollment students. This is one of the programs where there is an out-of-pocket cost for families, but the rates are greatly reduced per credit for high school students. Each college offers its own benefits, and sometimes they're a little bit different as you go from school to school. Some of the schools offer online classes. Some of the schools offer classes that we as a high school just can't offer. So students can take different types of electives through those colleges. And some students opt to get some of their core courses out of the way for the high school and also earn those college credits so that they don't have to worry about them when they go off to college for their general education classes. Dual enrollment is one of those programs where the timeline doesn't always coincide with our scheduling timeline, especially this year because you may be aware your students are actually meeting with counselors now to go over their schedules for next year, their course requests. The timeline for dual enrollment is later in the spring. We've done this late March. Last year, I believe it got pushed into April, but the counseling department will hold a separate meeting just for students and parents who are interested in dual enrollment. We go over the 3 different schools in more detail, what each offers. We usually do like a little compare and contrast graphic for students and parents and we are able to answer any specific questions about dual enrollment during that meeting. Late spring through early summer then is when students apply for the dual enrollment program at the college that they choose. So each college does have an application for dual enrollment. Students fill out that application so that they can get accepted into the college's dual enrollment program. There's also paperwork for our school that gets completed. This includes which school the students are planning on enrolling in. It includes which courses the students are planning on taking. There are some signature pages for how the grading system works in dual enrollment, as far as how it counts towards GPA and how grades are calculated for the high school. And when students do apply for the dual enrollment programs, they are going to have to request that their transcripts be sent to those schools. We do that through Naviance. So students request that their transcripts be sent to those schools, and we send those out to the representatives for the school that they're applying to. Once students are chosen or are accepted into their school of choice, that's usually early through midsummer when students meet with an advisor at the college to register for their courses. Most courses are open to dual enrollment students. We do have a list of classes that meet our requirements if students are struggling a little bit to figure out which classes would meet our requirements and work for dual enrollment. But students will meet with their advisor. They will register for classes. And once registration and payment are complete, they actually bring those papers or that paperwork, they submit it to the high school counselor. At that time, we then, as the counselor, fix their schedule, so to speak. So they will be choosing their courses right now through their course requests as though they're going to be at the high school all day. But if they choose dual enrollment, what happens later is we will go in and delete the high school classes that they're taking through dual enrollment. If students are choosing to go onto the college campus for their classes, we will also work with them to make their schedule coincide with those college courses. So for example, if a student has a college course 2 or 3 afternoons a week at the college, we will make sure that their high school schedule allows them time to come to classes at the high school in the morning and then leave to safely get to the campus to take their course. If they are doing an online college course through dual enrollment, sometimes we don't need to mess with the schedule too much once it's fixed, but we can make things work, and we do work around those college schedules. As Mr. Shervington said, there is a document that you can put questions into that we will answer. So at this point in time, it looks like we do have some questions that came in. So thank you for that. So I'll read them and then we'll just take turns fielding the questions and answering them. So the first question, how would I set up my schedule for early release senior year? When I selected my classes, it required me to do the usual amount of credits, not the amount for early release. I don't mind taking this one because dual enrollment and Hack Academy, for the most part, and some of the pre-apprenticeship programs, but not really. The Hack Academy and the dual enrollment are the ones where you would be looking at early release. Same with the internships. So we will work with you to get your schedule on track for early release. When you're choosing your courses, when you're choosing your classes, when you're meeting with your counselor to go over your course requests, you would do that just like you would any other year. Once everything is finalized for the special program that you're going to be in, that's when we go back in and we can adjust classes and make room in your schedule for you to be leaving early for your program. The next question. Are there any course prerequisites to apply for an on-campus internship?
I can take that. So there are no prerequisites, as Mr. Sterner stated. Really, the requirements are that you are a student in good standing, that you're passing your classes. You have the space in your schedule to be able to leave early or come late or whatever that looks like for your internship. So those are really the key components, but there's no course prerequisites. We would like you to take some introductory courses that would lead you to that, so that way you feel more prepared, but there's no specific requirements.
Okay, and the next one is sort of related to that, if you want to take that one as well. Are internships outside of class hours available?
This is a great question. It really depends on the site. I know I had a student 2 years ago that was part of an internship that went beyond 2:44 the school day, and that's okay. If it starts at 2 and goes till 4, we will work with you again to make sure your schedule aligns with that. So yes, students can have internships that go beyond the traditional school day, whether that's evenings or weekends. We will make sure your high school schedule allows that, but it does need to take place during the academic school year because you will have that, not only that site supervisor, but you'll also have that teacher mentor that will be guiding you through the course.
The next question, when and how do students know what courses are offered for the dual enrollment program? I can start that one, but please feel free to chime in with yours. Really, there are no, each college offers most of our core courses. So some students do choose to take their core classes, either social studies, English, math, or science through the college. And the 3 colleges that we work with, they do have lists of classes that are often taken through dual enrollment. We also have lists of classes that meet our requirements as well. But some students choose to take electives as well. And I've had students, and this is where maybe my colleagues can join in too, I've had students take all kinds of different electives. I had one student a couple of years ago take an Arabic course because that student wanted to study a language that we didn't offer here at the high school and found that to be interesting. Just this year, I have a student who is taking guitar as a college course. It is counting as an elective for us to meet those credit requirements, and it's counting for an elective at the college. So really, there are no hard and fast rules that there are only certain classes that you can take. It really depends on what the student needs to fulfill their high school graduation requirements, what they're interested in taking through the college, and what their career area is. I don't know if either of my fellow counselors would like to chime in as well.
I was only going to add that there are some classes that do have prerequisites on the college side of things. So that would be the only other component of they may require a certain class before you're able to take maybe a 200 or 300 level class. Some of the colleges, they may have you take a placement test or look at your standardized test scores just to make sure that you're going to be successful in that class. So that can be a component of also helping decide. But the college advisor that you meet with to register for your classes really help guide you to find the classes that you're eligible for. I would just say if you're going to try to make that English or social studies a core class requirement, just please check in with your high school counselor first, because we will tell you exactly what course code is needed to make sure that transfers.
And traditionally, with regard to finding what each particular school is offering, you certainly have the ability to kind of go through their course catalog on their respective websites. As we approach closer to spring, those schools should be releasing their course offerings for the summer of this coming school year or the fall of the start of next school year, in which you would begin to be able to understand when specific courses are being offered during certain times. So again, going back to what Ms. Kuhn said, when we ultimately get confirmation of enrollment, and you bring that information back to us, we will build your high school schedule around your dual enrollment courses. So you can kind of begin to formulate, hey, what courses are available to me in the same time of day at this school? Because that may kind of also necessitate which courses you take, trying to build them opposite days, say Monday, Wednesday, Friday for one course and Tuesday, Thursday for another, but also making sure those courses are happening around the same time of day.
The next question that we have, are juniors eligible for dual enrollment? Absolutely. Dual enrollment is open to 11th and 12th graders. We typically have a handful of juniors every year. Some years more juniors than others, but we typically have a handful of juniors every year who choose to do dual enrollment. And then a lot of times those juniors who do dual enrollment also go on then their senior year to do some dual enrollment classes. So the opportunity to earn a number of college credits before graduating from high school is there. We do, and it varies, we do talk to students about their course load at the college. We don't want students to be so overwhelmed with college courses that they flounder. So our juniors, typically we advise, to take maybe one class per semester at the college to kind of try it out and see what they think about dual enrollment. And if they do well with that their senior year, if they'd like to take more than one class per semester, we can look into that with them as well. There are no other questions on the question form. I'll give it another minute or so in case a question is formulating in your mind and you're getting onto the form to try to type that in.
As we're waiting, I can just add that a lot of these programs, they do have application processes. So if your student is interested, to please, again, reach out to their high school counselor. We may not have all those applications quite yet, but we'll make sure we put you on a list. And that way, as soon as we get that information, when they release that for next year, we'll make sure that you have all that information for whatever program that is and get the ball rolling. So know that, yes, students are scheduling right now as if these opportunities are not going to be taking place. But as we've said, we will work with those students, change their course requests and schedules to make sure that they have these opportunities that are so meaningful and important for their career development.
And I'm glad Mrs. O'Connor-Rudman mentioned our list. As students have been meeting with us when we're going over their course requests, we have been keeping a list of names for students who are interested in dual enrollment, in internships, in pre-apprenticeship opportunities, and in Hack Academy. I had mentioned that we do a separate dual enrollment meeting in the spring where we get a little bit more in depth with that. So if your student is interested in that and told us and is on that list, we will make sure that they are aware of when that meeting is. We do advertise that meeting to the general, good for everyone, but making sure that the students who have told us that they're interested in that and the parents get a heads up about that meeting. We do that. And the same goes for the other opportunities. I know when we get information about Hack Academy, we do reach out to those students who told us that they were interested in that to make sure that they have the applications. With internships, we like to check back with those internship students and make sure that they got the paperwork necessary to get that rolling. And with the pre-apprenticeship, that is also an application opportunity. When those applications open up, we, again, like to reach out to those students who expressed an interest. So as Mrs. O'Connor-Rudman said, and I know it's already been stated tonight, but we can't stress enough that if you're interested in these opportunities and you haven't told your counselor yet that you're looking into that or that you're hoping to do something along those lines, please let your counselor know. It is not written in stone. It's not going to force you into it if you change your mind later, but at least gets us a heads up and we can put you on the list to make sure that you're getting all of the latest information when that comes out. It does not look like any more questions have come in.
I just want to add, we will be having one more of these presentations in just a couple weeks. So on February 10th, Wednesday night at 6, we will be talking about some additional junior and senior year opportunities, but that time we will be focusing on AP testing, SAT and ACT testing, and ASVAB testing. So a little more testing focused, but I want to put that out there now so that way you have it on your radar that February 10th at 6 p.m. we'll do a similar presentation about other opportunities for our upperclassmen.
All right. Well, I would like to take the time to thank everyone for joining us, whether you're here with us live or if you're watching this later when you're able to. Thank you for coming. Thank you for the questions to those of you who submitted questions. If after this you think of some questions that you have, please don't hesitate to reach out to any of us in the counseling office. We would be happy to speak with you about any of these opportunities, answer additional questions, or provide any other information that you may need.